Hi, I'm Kara.
And I'm Mark. And we're coming to you today on Action Figure Happy Hour. Today on Action Figure Happy Hour, we're going to unbox the Hot Toys Princess Leia and Wicket double set. So both Leia and Wicket are inside. I'm going to open this up and see what's going on.
And because it's Action Figure Happy Hour, we need a cocktail to go with our unboxing.
Yes,
so
we do.
today, we're going to make the Endor Sour. Whiskey Wicket. Carrie Swisher.
Carrie Fisher indeed.
Our take on a whiskey sour. We're going to do some smoked rosemary because we needed some foliage. It smells so good. Here we go. Let's make a cocktail and unbox Leia and Wicket.
So let's get into the Leia and Wicket double box set from Hot Toys. I've been looking forward to this one for a long time. You can get either just Wicket or Leia separately, but why on earth would you do that? Why on Endor would you do that? Let's see what's inside. Well, we know what's inside. It's Leia and Wicket, but still, very nice. Little glam there. Inside, typical clamshell packaging. First things first, let's get Mr. Wicket W. Warwick out. Oh, his little plastic booty's off. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. Hot Toys has never made an Ewok before. He is furry, flocked, whatever adjective you want to use. Very cute.
So cute.
I think he looks just like him.
Touch camera.
He's so soft, isn't he? So soft, so furry. If this wasn't so darn expensive, I might even actually, take him to bed and cuddle him at night. So there's Wicket, and he comes with a lot of stuff. These little drumsticks, which I believe only come with the double box set here, so that he can play drums on the Death Star gunner's head, and this nicely beat up Stormtrooper's helmet. Sorry, not his head. I mean, there might be a head in here. I don't know how grim you want to get. And inside, it's actually, if you can see that, the inside is very, very detailed. It really looks like the inside of a Stormtrooper helmet. It's not just the outside that they sculpted, but it's nice and dirty and beat up after the Battle of Endor. He does come with several switch-out hands for holding his spear and the drum sticks, and obviously a very long Ewok spear that he can hold. I'm probably not going to use that because I want him to play the drums because that's just cool. And, of course, let's not forget our favorite Disney princess, Leia Organa.
The general.
Not a general at this point, but still, yes, the future general and leader of the Resistance, Leia Organa. Great sculpt. I love the braids. Very, very lifelike, looks very much like Carrie Fisher. And really, the cut and sew on this is amazing. I love the color of the pants. They nailed this outfit. I think it's gorgeous and it's gonna look great. But of course, it's not really Leia from Endor unless you put on the poncho, which we will do the signature look, if you will, of Leia and Luke when they're riding around Endor on their little speeder bikes. So you have to assemble this. She comes with, again, a bunch of different little switch out hands that she can use to hold mostly her blaster rifle, which is right here. Did I call it a blaster rifle? Blaster pistol. Her signature weapon that she uses in Return of the Jedi. And if you want, you can have her wear the speeder bike helmet. I believe you have to remove the hairpiece, so it's not a separate head sculpt, it's just a separate hair piece. You take off the hairpiece, which is magnetically attached, and drop on the helmet. Now let's move Leia over here, and then I will show you. So they both come with their own base, they both come with their own stand. The set does come with some nice little extras that attach onto the base, like so that you can do a little bit of a diorama with some indoor foliage, like this. Looks like some giant leaves, giant rosemary leaves of some kind, and just a big tree stump, which you can use to just kind of make it seem like they're on Endor. Very easy to use, but nicely sculpted. It all looks great. We're going to get these guys situated in the way that we want, get them on the stands, put Leia's poncho on, and then we'll show you how everything looks.
Okay, Mark unboxed Leia and Wicket, so now we're gonna make our cocktail to go with that, and we've decided we're gonna call it the Carrie Swisher in honor of Carrie Fisher. And the ingredients are pretty simple. The whiskey sour, you're gonna do 1 part whiskey to 1 part lemon juice to a 1/2 part simple syrup. So we're gonna make 2 drinks, 1 for me and 1 for Mark. So I'm gonna do 2 shots of whiskey, 2 shots of lemon juice, and 1 shot of simple syrup. But what makes it different, why it's a Carrie Swisher, is just like Endor is covered in beautiful foliage, we are gonna smoke some rosemary and throw it in there.
Do you smoke rosemary often?
All the time, man.
I noticed you have rye there.
Yeah.
Do you have to use rye? Can you use bourbon?
You don't have to use rye. You can use bourbon. But the thing is, rye is a little smokier. It's not as sweet as bourbon because it's not made with corn. So if you're trying to cut, which we're going to do, we want to cut some of the sweet and sour of the lemon and the simple syrup. We're going to go with rye today, but it really doesn't matter. You can use whatever you want. It's up to you. So first things first, because it's the most annoying to do, we're going to squeeze our lemons. And one trick I've learned is you want to try to find the softest lemon, and then you want to roll it so that you really get those juices out of there. So we're just going to juice lemons.
If they're nice and ripe, usually 1 lemon will get you 1 shot.
Yeah, I guess that's true. You want to make sure.
Just depends on the time of year.
And the size of the lemon. Sometimes you'll go and they have these bitty, tiny little lemons. So while I'm juicing this lemon, I can tell you a quick story about Carrie Fisher. Rose City Comic-Con in Portland, Oregon, 2015. We were walking on the show floor and there was the cutest little French bulldog just walking all over. And I said to Mark, that lady's walking her puppy. It was Carrie Fisher. And I touched her dog.
As I recall, she kind of gave you a little bit of a
did.
look.
Well, but you know, I'll take a dirty look from Carrie Fisher than no look at all any day. Probably juiced enough. The first thing we want to do is smoke our rosemary. And honestly, just light it on fire. They don't really want to go on fire because they are so fresh.
But really, they just have to char.
Just want to get a good char on them.
Well, you can smell it.
Smells like Endor, no?
I couldn't tell you.
And then you drop it right into the glass. Really, you probably want to let your rosemary dry out a little bit too. That'll help. So now you're going to want to fill your shaker with ice, almost to the top. Lemon juice, 2 shots of our bullet rye. Ooh, that smells so good. Of our simple syrup. Shake it up. And then you're just gonna pour it right over the rosemary. Did you guys hear that? Pour it right over the top.
Ooh, yeah. Seems a little unfair to whoever's getting the one on the right.
We love you, Carrie Fisher. Mark, why don't you come over here
Is it time to taste?
and do a little tasting?
I've never had one of these before, so
Cheers.
I don't know about this. That's very good.
Yeah.
Very lemony. I like the rye. Smell the destruction of the second Death Star. Very nice
Pretty
job.
good.
Very nice job. Here's what Leia looks like when she's out of the box and posed on her stand. As you can see, she poses really, really well. The joints are nice and flexible, so you can get her into pretty much any pose you want. Kara's got her in an action pose right there. Plants look really nice on the base. I think she looks great, and I love how that poncho blows in the wind like that. Only thing is, her little holster broke right out of the box. That's not great. Hot Toys could do a little bit better with that kind of quality control. And of course, here's Wicket the Ewok on his stand. Great little figure. I think he's absolutely adorable. Doesn't do much. He's so little, you can't really do that much with him in terms of action, but he can certainly play the drums on a Stormtrooper's helmet. I think he turned out great, and I'm super excited to get him up on my shelf.
And our Carrie Swisher to top things off, because you can't pose a figure without a drink. Whiskey sour with smoky rosemary, just like our smoky General Princess Leia. Princess General Leia. Generally a Princess Leia. She's a general in my book.
Thanks for joining us for Action Figure Happy Hour. We brought you Princess Leia on indoor and her little furry friend, Wicket the Ewok.
And our version of a whiskey sour dedicated to Carrie Fisher, the Carrie Swisher.
Oh, so good.
So delicious.
Nice job on this. Was a little skeptical of the smoked sage, but
Rosemary. Smoked
that's why
rosemary.
I was skeptical of it, because I didn't know what was in the drink. Thank you guys for watching our unboxing and drink lessons.
Yeah, and make sure to join us again because there's a lot more cocktails coming your way that I'm going to teach you how to make.
And of course, we've got a lot more action figures that we're going to unbox. Join us next time on Action Figure Happy Hour, earlier than later.
Cheers.